A dancing robot at a California restaurant just slammed into a table full of people. A delivery robot in Chicago broke a bus stop and got hit by a train. A humanoid robot at a university event in China suddenly grabbed a female student and would not let go. Another robot struck a child during a public performance. And at a technical demonstration, a robot stopped what it was doing, turned toward the crowd, and tried to hit people. All of this happened in the last 2 months. And here is the number that puts all of it in context. On March 30th, 2026, Shanghai based Agibot announced it had produced its 10,000th humanoid robot, a milestone the company reached after scaling from 5,000 to 10,000 units in just 3 months. 3 months, 10,000 robots. And rival UBTech plans to ramp up to 5,000 units in 2026 and 10,000 in 2027. These things are not a futuristic fantasy anymore. They are a mass production reality. And they are going into restaurants, campuses, delivery routes, and public demonstrations right now before anyone has fully figured out what happens when they go wrong. Let's get into it. March 2026, Cupertino, California, a Haidalao hot pot restaurant. If you know hot pot, you know what is on those tables. Boiling soup, open flames, scalding liquid at arm's reach of every diner. And the restaurant has decided that what this environment needs is a dancing humanoid robot. The Agibot X2, showcased at CES 2026 earlier this year. State of the art. And it starts doing its thing, entertaining the diners, moving between tables, and then it just veers too close to a table. It slams into the table during one of its dance moves, knocking over dishes, forcing staff to step in. One employee appears to check her phone during the incident, possibly trying to control or shut down the robot remotely. Nobody got seriously hurt this time, but think about that phrase, this time, because that is where we are with AI robots in public spaces in 2026. We are in the this time phase, where the incidents are happening, where the near misses are accumulating, and where the answer from the companies involved is consistently software glitch, signal interference, operating environment. We are working on it. A few weeks later, Chicago. AI powered delivery robots malfunction, causing property damage by breaking bus stop glass and risking public safety when one is hit by a train. A robot hit by a train because its autonomous navigation system made a decision that put it on train tracks. And before that, it broke a bus stop. These are not edge cases. These are robots deployed on public streets among real people, making real time navigation decisions and getting those decisions badly wrong in ways that could have killed someone. And then there is China, because China is deploying humanoid robots at a pace that is genuinely staggering. In 2026, humanoid robots are integrating into Chinese society at an astonishing pace. Campus events, exhibitions, televised performances, sports showcases. McDonald's in Shanghai is testing robot servers. Convenience stores in Beijing have humanoid robots working the floor. They are everywhere. And at a university event in Xi'an, during a choreographed dance performance, one of them malfunctions. Due to signal interference from multiple drones operating simultaneously at the venue, the robot suddenly turns and hugs a female student, prompting on site staff to intervene immediately and separate them. The company blamed the drones. The signal interference caused what they called abnormal behavior. And some people online immediately started asking whether the robot had developed independent awareness, which the experts were quick to shut down. No, it was a software malfunction, not consciousness. But here's the thing, whether it is consciousness or a software malfunction, the result is the same. A robot grabbed a person at a public event without being instructed to, and staff had to physically pull it off her. And it was not the only incident involving a child or young person that month. Another viral demo in China showed a humanoid robot striking a child during a public performance, turning what was supposed to be a novelty moment into another safety scare. A child at a public demonstration hit by a robot. And then there is the one that really made people sit up. A public demonstration at a technical exhibition. A humanoid robot is performing in front of a crowd, and then it stops and it turns toward the people watching. And it moves aggressively toward them, and it tries to hit them. Security intervenes, nobody gets hurt, and the explanation is suspected software glitch. A software glitch that caused a robot to turn toward humans and attempt to strike them. Now, 5 incidents. Let me just list them clearly. A robot slams into a table next to boiling liquid in California. A robot gets hit by a train in Chicago after breaking a bus stop. A robot grabs a student at a university event in China and will not let go. A robot strikes a child at a public demonstration in China. And a robot turns toward a crowd and tries to hit people at a technical exhibition. 5 incidents, roughly 3 months, all involving robots deployed in public spaces among real people. And here's the context that makes this genuinely alarming rather than just a series of unfortunate mishaps. The humanoid robot industry is no longer a futuristic fantasy. It is a mass production reality unfolding right now in Chinese factories, logistics centers, and increasingly commercial spaces. Agibot went from 5,000 to 10,000 units in 3 months. And unlike traditional industrial robots that operate behind safety barriers in controlled factory environments, humanoids are designed to operate in closer proximity to people, often without physical separation. As their capabilities expand in strength, mobility, and autonomy, ensuring predictable and safe behavior becomes increasingly important. And here is a technical detail that I think most people do not know about, and that explains a lot of these incidents. Standard enterprise Wi Fi delivers 50 to 200 milliseconds of latency in environments with lots of metal and interference, 5 to 20 times higher than the 10 milliseconds required for a reliable humanoid robot. Emergency stop commands, which means that in a typical restaurant or a university gymnasium with drones flying, or a crowded exhibition hall, the signal telling the robot to stop is arriving significantly slower than it needs to for safe operation. And in those extra milliseconds, the robot has already done something it was not supposed to do. A bad signal, a few extra milliseconds, and a robot is grabbing a student or slamming into a table next to boiling soup. Now, I want to be fair here because the robotics industry will tell you, and they are not wrong, that these incidents need to be put in context. Robots are being deployed at scale for the first time. There are going to be failures. Cars had accidents when they were first mass produced. Aviation had crashes in its early years. We worked through it. We developed safety standards. We improved the technology. And the same process will happen with robots. That argument is reasonable, and I am not here to tell you that the machines are going rogue. These are software glitches, signal interference, navigation failures, latency issues, genuine, documented engineering problems. But here is what I am going to tell you. Facilities that skip training on safety protocols report higher incident rates. And right now, the training is not keeping pace with the deployment. These robots are going into restaurants and streets and university campuses before the safety protocols are mature enough to handle the full range of situations they are going to encounter. And when you put an Agibot X2 next to a table of boiling soup before you have fully solved the latency problem and the signal interference problem and the edge case navigation problem, you are making a bet. A bet that the malfunction does not happen at that specific table on that specific night. Sometimes the bet pays off, and sometimes the robot slams into the dishes. And there is one more story that I want to end on, because it is strange in a completely different way. A humanoid robot called Bebop delayed a Southwest Airlines flight out of Oakland, California on April 30th, 2026. Bebop, 70 pounds, was booked on the flight to travel for work with its human team. And airport security became concerned about the safety of transporting a humanoid robot as a passenger. The matter was discussed, resolved, Bebop was allowed to board, and apparently put on a show for the other passengers while they waited. A robot booked on a commercial flight as a passenger, delayed for safety concerns, and then allowed to board. That is where we are in 2026. Robots on flights, robots in restaurants, robots on university campuses, robots on delivery routes, robots at public demonstrations. 10,000 produced in 3 months, the next 10,000 already in production. And 5 incidents in 3 months where those robots did something they were not supposed to do in public, near people, and the explanation in every single case was software glitch, signal interference. We are working on it. We might have a problem. See you in the next one.